My name is Taps and welcome to the channel. I'm a crypto, stock, and real estate investor, and I know I said I was going to do a stock video next, but there's just so much happening in the crypto space right now, and specifically with OMI, so I had to give an update, and I've spent a lot of time doing research over the past 2 days. With that said, that's why I had to alert you of these six important updates first on OMI. As always, I'm not a financial advisor. I'm just here to share strategies on how to navigate the vast world of investing. Timestamps are down below, but I don't think you're going to want to miss the first update because it's important to the crypto space as a whole and to every coin in your bag. So with that said, I'm going to jump into the first update. This is kind of a three-parter, but looking at the space as a whole that is crypto, we have to take a look at what's happening in the financial world altogether. That includes in the stock world and just what's happening to us in our environment. So yesterday, Jerome Powell, who is part of the Federal Reserve, spoke actually and confirmed that we're going to have lower inflation and there will be a slow, steady rise leading up to the year, but they're not going to be spiking inflation. So essentially, that extends the crypto bull cycle for a lot longer, because when we looked at what happened in 2018, which was a cluster of things about why the bull cycle ended then, one of the biggest pieces was there was a substantial drop in the market because of tons of FUD and everything that was happening. And so with Jerome Powell coming on and saying, like, indefinitely giving us an answer finally, that inflation will slowly go up, but we're not going to be spiking interest rates to 4 or 5% plus until probably 2022 or 2023. And there was even talk about another stimulus check possibly coming later this year. So that is all positive news because it extends out the bull cycle. It means that there will be a steady, longer cycle. A caveat to that is Morgan Stanley becoming the first big US bank to offer its wealthy clients to Bitcoin funds. Now, this is massive because for those of you who don't understand who Morgan Stanley is, Morgan Stanley, when we're looking at the list of largest financial service companies by revenue, is number 29 on that list. So we've heard a lot of talk from companies like JP Morgan Chase, like teasing us at possibly dipping their toes into the water that is crypto, but this is big news, and I'm surprised it's not getting more airtime on YouTube and everything else because it is a big milestone for adoption from these large financial institutions, which I think, a lot of these larger firms needed someone to test the water and actually see how it's going to translate out. So with Morgan Stanley doing this, I think we will see adoption from JP Morgan Chase and some of these larger names with larger revenue numbers. And actually, I saw an article the other day that the Royal Bank of Canada, right here, looking at investing, and it said upcoming. So this is all really, really good news. And it's going to help with mass adoption, allowing these larger investors to start putting their money into crypto, which is going to increase value. And it's another reason why I am hodling hard and slowly converting some of my stocks into more crypto. And the third kind of part to this is, again, I'm in stocks as well, so I'm able to keep a pulse on what's happening in both markets. Yesterday, we saw a major spike, actually I think it was over the past 2 days, of OCG and TKAT, which are both NFT companies or some form of, I think, e-commerce that trade NFTs. I haven't had a ton of time to look into this, but that shows that everyone is trying to get a part of the NFT craze. Even if they don't have to invest in cryptocurrency or go buy NFTs, they're going to make money via stocks. So this is all very, very bullish. On number 2, the second reason why, or the second update I have is the Ecomi website listed a countdown for the Uniswap listing of OMI. and we're under 6 days now. So this itself is creating hype, and a part of the reason why it's been so low to this date, because it's only been on 2 exchanges, Bit4X and BitMax. So this is so close, under 6 days. It'll create easier access, and we should see significance after that 1 cent. So I think this is a massive, massive and very smart move for OMI and Veve. The third big update is Logan Paul, and this is kind of small, but Logan Paul referred to OMI as a wagon, which is essentially, it means it's going to keep going and it can't be stopped. So why is this an important update? Is because he has a massive, massive following on his podcast, and he's been an outspoken advocate for Bondly. So much so that he actually created an NFT card he's very much like an avid Pokemon card fan, and created a Logan Paul NFT, I think it was an NFT card, not just the card, but he's been very, very outspoken on Bondly. So it's significant because he mentioned, OMI is a wagon, but didn't really tout it anyway. So I'm wondering if he's not allowed to really tout anything else because he's so tied to the Bondly project. But what's odd is, he's a grown man, right? Like, why would a grown man put so much importance into Pokemon cards, right? What a nerd. All right, number 4. The Veve app, where you can buy these limited 3D model collectibles that are tied to the OMI coin, has only been live for 2 months, or about 2.5 months now. So they have a ton of more drops upcoming. Like, when we look down what's out, we've seen Powerpuff Girls, Adventure Time, Ghostbusters, but we haven't seen Star Trek yet. We haven't seen Jurassic Park. We haven't seen Superman yet. There are so many different names and that they have licenses for. Big brands, Street Fighter, Capcom. The list keeps going on. On a recent interview, the CEO was also speaking about an NFL license and being able to appeal to the sports fanatics. That's going to compete directly with Flow, but actually having the ability to have your favorite football player tossing a ball around and jumping into the end zone, that's pretty cool. So there's so much more to be coming, and they've done and secured so much in 2.5 months that we're really seeing a lot happening in such a short amount of time. But in a 50-minute interview that they posted on the Ecomi YouTube channel, this is a long video, but he actually spoke about the Back to the Future Delorean drop and announced it's coming on April 8th, and it's an interactive drop. So a big piece of all the drops has they've been these 3D collectibles, and they're kind of stagnant. They're still really cool, so they appeal to collectors like myself. But now it has this crazy, it's augmented reality, it's interactive. It can move. You can play with it. This is a game changer, right? It's creating a lot more stickiness and making it more than just something that you can look at. So I think this is huge, and I will for sure be trying to get as many of these DeLoreans as possible. And that's the piece. All of the NFT naysayers have really been saying, how are you wasting your money on these things? They're not going to hold any value. They'll be gone in a year or so. Oh, really? So look at the Pokemon cards that I just showed you. Yu-Gi-Oh cards, Crypto Kitties, Magic the Gathering cards, basketball cards, G.I. Joes, Barbies, video games. Nostalgia equals value, and it runs in cycles, and it seems like the more time that you hold something and the rarer it is, the more scarcity it has, the more value it creates. So again, we are so early with all of these things coming out. The announcing of the DeLorean is a big deal, and the fact that it's interactive. So we're seeing again a lot more usability with these NFTs. The 5th update is when we look at OMI's price action, why it skyrocketed, we have to keep in mind that the Veve app has only been live for 2 months. So when we look at it, and I'm on CoinGecko here, this is on the 90-day, but when we look at the past 90 days, we can see, actually let's zoom out the entire max for how long it's been on, since 2019. It's been just real low for a long time, right? And then when we look at the 90 days around February, it was picking up steam in January, and around February, once there started to get more gems used on the app, things were getting bought, things were getting released, we see as more drops came into play and people were spending gems on the app, Veve has continued to go up. And it went up even more with the announce of BitMax. So the more gems that are spent, the more OMI are burnt. More drops equals more adoption and higher value of the OMI token. On top of that, the CEO revealed that there was a rush to get everything going back in 2020 with their smart contracts and the investors, and there was a typo, basically an accounting issue, and almost 100 billion, 97.996 billion OMI tokens got locked up for a crazy amount of years. So essentially, because of that, anyone who's holding OMI, your tokens became 25% more scarce overnight based on the circulating tokens. So again, this is very bullish. Onto the sixth update, and probably the most important reason why I'm so bullish on OMI is when we look at Ecomi on CoinGecko or CoinMarketCap, we see a big question mark under market cap. And the circulating supply has a question mark and 750 billion OMI in circulation. Now, this number has not been updated. It is not correct, right? There was 750 billion when it started, but this is not the current circulating supply. So when you think of like adoption from, the large NFT whales out there, like the outspoken ones like Gary Vee and Mark Cuban and some larger unseen forces that haven't jumped in on Veve yet, most likely, is because of its market cap or how it's viewed, right? So when you look at a big question mark, it seems like it's a risky investment, especially when you're looking on CoinGecko or CoinMarketCap. So it's important to know what their current market cap is and what their current circulating supply is. This 50-minute video that I shared, you actually get to hear the CEO bring to light what the circulating supply is and what the current market cap is. It's actually 18-ish minutes in, I think it's about like 18:30, where he discussed the circulating supply is actually at 168 billion tokens, so not 750 billion tokens, which puts them around a 500 million market cap. And when we look at the NFTs, top 100 NFT coins by market cap on CoinGecko, that puts them above Wax and Sand in the number 4, number 5 spot, right below Engine, Decentraland, and Flow. That's huge. And then when we zoom out from another macro lens, we can see overall coins in general. That would put them right around the area of Verge at that 500 million. Did I say 500 million before or 500,000? 500 million market cap, which is interesting too, because I think Verge was that coin back in 2018 that like skyrocketed some stupid percentage before the bull run ended. But again, that puts them right on the outside edge of being in the top 100. In what, since 2019, and with the coins being burned on the Veve app, basically having utility in 2.5 months, this thing has skyrocketed, will continue to skyrocket. So a lot of naysayers have not wanted to invest in this because of that market cap that's reflected in CoinMarketCap or CoinGecko, but it has a higher market cap than what's being reflected. So once this is reflected in CoinGecko and CoinMarketCap, it's just a matter of time, right? Because it then shows this is a safer investment. And I think in many ways that more exchanges will then want to go ahead and have Ecomi in their exchange. Now, before my price prediction, if you found value in my analysis, please like, subscribe, and click the notification bell if you'd like to know when my next video is going to come out. The channel just hit 100 subscribers in 8 days. Thanks again, guys. Like, really, really appreciate it, and I hope you guys are getting value out of this. So I'll keep the videos coming, but now on to the moment you guys have been waiting for, the price prediction. I'm going to explain how I got to this number because it took a lot of time. Okay, so in my research to try and figure out how to pinpoint a prediction, I stumbled on Earth to Mastery's videos on YouTube. Great analysis. I highly recommend you look at his videos. He does an excellent job of breaking down how much OMI is burned via gems and the Veve app based on limited supply at that time. The info is also on Ecomi as well, which you can see right here and right here. If you want to actually go in and read the information, you can do so under their post on Veve tokenomics. But again, Earth to Mastery does a really good job of summarizing it. So that's how I looked at it. But what I did was I took his analysis and I used that model to look at how much OMI is burned. And then I took that average of how often drops are scheduled, which is roughly every 4 weeks, and compared it to the average total supply of the models in a collection drop and the average sold out versus still available. I then took that number and applied it to a 6 to 9, not 69, 6 to 9 month span, which is roughly how long I conservatively think that the bull cycle will run, and tried to average it to a conservative, steady value increase of the OMI token on top of the gem burn transactions, which will change as OMI increases in price. I spent some time trying to calculate all this, so bear with me. I believe OMI will be somewhere between roughly 22 cents to 48 cents in the next 6 to 9 months, 6 to 9. So 22x to 48x from its current 0.0098 price per coin. The wide range is because there are so many outliers, right? Based on the rate of how often they can do these drops and how often or how much it runs. So with that said, we're still early. That's why, although I secured a bag of OMI around 0.0014 a month ago, I chose to pay 7x the other night and add more because it's got so much more to run. I wanted to share all this research with you before giving a price prediction because there's a ton of hype around this project. So I went looking for a reason not to put more money into it, to try and find a flaw in Ecomi, to try and find a chink in the army of OMI, but I couldn't. The gain train to Ecomi is inevitable. If you agree and want a first-class seat on the OMI gain train, or if I missed something, please let me know in the comments section below. I'm Taps. I appreciate your time and happy trading.